Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first review on our podcast platform here. It's quite exciting. Yeah, we've decided to move to doing reviews through this. We thought it'd be easier for us. We thought it'd be more digestible for you, and it's just a better way to get our thoughts off in a more naturalistic way and be able to provide more thoughts while, like writing about it. You got to condense it down and you got to make it all like clean, formal, polished. So we just thought we'd come here, would chat about it. So me and Nan are here right now. We just went to the Creed 3 screening hosted by Warner Brothers here in New Zealand. So that was a good screening. We got a nice drink for it. We got some popcorn. We've just come back here now and we're ready to talk about it. All right, so Nan, what do you think about it? Just an overall thoughts.
I really enjoyed it. Usually the third films in like franchises are usually the weak link, but I think this one is. I still think Creed 1 is the better film in terms of the franchise.
I agree.
But I think this is definitely better than Creed 2.
Yeah,
it was a lot more emotional. Like I know, like the first Creed film was about him like trying to live up to his father's name. The second one is about him that grudge match with Drago, the boxer that killed his father. But this one just had more of like a emotional and more backstory to it.
Yeah,
it felt more personal towards Adonis Creed than the other two did.
Yeah,
with his own friend.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that. I do think the first one is the better of it, and I think it's more well made and just polished. There are some things I would change about this one here, but I know it's better than Creed 2. One of the easy identifiers for that is I don't remember much of Creed 2. It honestly left me as soon as I left the cinema for that movie. But it was still a solid entry, and I think the entire trilogy is just capped off by a wonderful movie here, and obviously well done by Michael B. Jordan for leading the film and directing the film as well. In terms of screenplay, how do you find like how the events of the film kind of transpired throughout it?
It was sort of predictable.
It
was good. Don't get me wrong, but it's sort of predictable. We have I was about to get names mixed up. Adonis's childhood friend just come out of prison, asked for a boxing shot and then and ring stuff, and then that happens and you just sort of know where the plot's gonna go from there ever since that fight Dame was in.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree with that actually. Yeah, now thinking about it, I just kind of knew how it would all pan out. Yeah. I think one thing I didn't like about this movie is that it was too short for me. I needed more of the conflict between Damien, the childhood friend, and Adonis Creed.
Came out of nowhere, really.
Yeah, it kind of came up, and then just there's like a conversation between two characters, and it's like, oh, you need to fight him, and then there's a training montage, and then we're at the fight, and it's just kind of like it kind of rushed that part of it, and everything else I liked, but I think it just needed a little bit more in it.
Definitely the third act.
Yeah. I think the first act is really solid. Yeah. In terms of making it quite compelling between the major like characters of this and just setting the foundation for what's about to come and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I think in terms of like the pacing of it, how'd you find that? Because I thought quite rushed at the end, but solid until like a certain point.
Yeah, I thought the first two acts was paced nicely, and then as soon as the training montage came on, that training montage was fantastic. I'm a sucker for boxing training montages.
Yeah, they are great.
They always get you hyped. No matter what film it is, like Southpaw or Creed or Rocky, like those sort of like training montages always gets you hyped. Yeah. And then like you just go straight into the fight, and then that's when you like come down from that high of the training montage. Like, wait, they're just summoning into this now. Like, there's no like back and forth in terms of like promos or. You get like little snippets of it throughout the training montage, but it's like not in depth or not enough.
Yeah, I just wish it built up the intensity of that final fight. It kind of just comes and you're like, oh, okay, we're here. Like, and I think it's all done very well. It just needs more. But in terms of performances from Damien, who's played by Jonathan Majors, what do you think about his entry into the franchise here?
That was fantastic. Dude, that guy is built to be a villain. Like we saw it in Ant-Man as Kang, and then we're seeing it here. Like he just plays a villainous role so well.
But he does,
The thing is that in this and Ant-Man, like he's not like your typical villain. He's like a what's the word? Like a menacing sort of arrogant sort of type villain.
Like more like an anti-hero, like.
Yeah, sort of an anti-hero. Like you can sort of get behind him, but then you're like, you just don't want to.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. There's always like that sympathetic piece about him where you kind of see where he's coming from.
Yeah.
You just don't agree with the way he's kind of doing it. But I think at the end of the day, those are the best kind of villains. Yeah, so I thought what they did here and how to make him kind of like a villain, in a sense, or just a really great antagonist in general. I think they did a good job, and he does play the part really well. I hope he's not, just going to become that guy in Hollywood who's just casted as villains. I do want to see him as a hero. I think that could be quite interesting.
Like Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson, they just play the same role in every single film.
Every single film, yep. I don't want to see that from him. I want to see some versatility, but we'll see. But Michael B. Jordan, he's directing here as well, and he's the leading actor. So he's kind of directing himself in a way, but he's got a massive role in the production of this film. How do you think he did compared to his other performances in the franchise?
I think they were pretty much all similar, I mean, I think his performance here is better than the first Creed. You definitely saw a lot more emotion from him in this one than you did in Creed 1. Especially in that scene with his mother.
Yeah.
That was like, hits in the emotions quite a bit.
Yeah, there's some good scenes, yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, he was just like, his typical Michael B. Jordan and Creed, like somewhat always the underdog.
Yeah.
And always like trying to fight for something. I'm sure that he plays that sort of character as well. Yeah,
no, he's super solid. I wouldn't go to the point where I'd say, oh wow, he's like incredible in this role or anything. Yeah. I think he, like you said, he just suits it really well. And I think one of the best parts about it is he brings the physicality to a really intense kind of level. And that kind of, elevates his performance without the emotions behind it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, and, further to that, Tessa Thompson, I think she's fantastic in this. I think this is probably her best role in the Creed franchise. And I'm glad they gave her a little bit more substance in this, I think.
Yeah, she had a lot more to work with in the
Yeah, I think it just kind of rounds out those characters a little bit more. Yeah. The technical side of things, what I will say about this is that the first Creed is still the best in terms of the technical side of the production of these kind of movies. I thought it was good. It wasn't great. It might even be the weakest of the Creed franchise. And I was watching this movie, and I remember specifically a scene from the first Creed. I don't know if you remember it, but it's one of the up-and-coming fights that Adonis Creed has, and it's just one shot, and it's all real.
Oh,
yeah, and it's just incredible, and you don't get anything like that in this kind of movie. The CGI background, it kind of, you can kind of see it at times. And the focus, the in terms of the camera lens and stuff like that, I think it's just some of it's distracting. But there's some awesome slow-mo moments and all that kind of stuff. So there's potential in Michael B. Jordan having an eye for this kind of stuff, but there's also room for improvement. So yeah.
I don't think there was a really good shot. It was when Dan was in his first fight and Adonis went and met with him, and then he went down a corner, and there was just a wall separating the two characters, and they both looked at the wall.
Oh yes, yeah.
That was like good symmetry there.
Yeah, there's definitely some good moments, and you can kind of see that Michael B. Jordan has experience with films and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, like I said, there's an eye for it, but there needs to be improvement. But in terms of the score, how do you find that?
I enjoyed it. I don't mind it. It was pretty much the same as like the other two Creeds. You don't get that hard rocky, the iconic score as you did in the first two films. But it was still there, but it was just a lot more mellowed down and a bit reworked.
Yeah.
It was very subtle. You definitely heard it at the end. That's for sure. But I enjoyed it, and I even enjoyed the song selections as well.
Yeah. Further to that, the song selections I thought were they were good. I thought they were just really fitting, and in every scene they played in, I think it kind of elevated the movie in itself. But I think the big talking point for this movie will be about Michael B. Jordan as a director.
Yeah.
I think the Creed franchise is pretty solid in its entirety. So the interesting factor of this movie is Michael B. Jordan as the director. So how do you think he fared, and how do you think he will be in the future as a director?
I think he did a fantastic job in his debut.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! I had something in my head while you were talking, and now it's just gone.
Oops.
On the air live, and I'm just mumbling right now. But okay, I'll stall for now. I think Creed is something that he's just so familiar with and whatnot. So obviously that's like a good first thing for him to pick up. If it was something like completely brand new that he hasn't had no experience in, could be a bit different. But I mean,
agreed. Yeah.
91 Rotten Tomatoes on his debut. That's a very good stat to have as a first direct.
91 for now, but
91 for now, but yeah, it's a good stat to have.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I think Creed's a very safe pick for him for his first one. And it might, not make this seem like quite a legitimate assessment of his directorial debut, because it's the third one in a franchise that he's extremely familiar with. I think for me to assess him as a director going forward, I need to see him or like directing something that he's not comfortable in. Whether it's like a war drama or a period film or whatever it may be. I think we just need to see him out of his comfort zone to really assess him as a director. But but overall we like the movie. It's not the best in the Creed franchise, but it's a extremely solid entry into the Creed franchise and the Rocky franchise as a whole.
Sorry, it even ended it nicely. Sort of like, don't want to give anything away, but throughout the whole film, it's hammering home that he's done with boxing and stuff, and then he comes out and get a little tease off he can come back, but he's just happy with his family. I think it's a perfect ending for this franchise, and they can just move on with something else. But I'm pretty sure they will go with another Creed.
They might go with another Creed. We'll have to see what happens. But I do. I think they left it a little bit open, but they did close it off nicely as a cap off to the trilogy. So if it ended now, it's a nice ending.
Yeah.
But we had a good time with this one. So yeah, final thoughts out of 10. What would you give this one?
I would give it 8. An 8.1 out of 10.
An 8.1. Damn, that's high. No.
Yeah.
8.1. Wow. I'm gonna go with a 7 out of 10. It just needed a little bit more of an oomph on a emotional side, and I think narratively, it could have done a little bit better.
Yeah.
And the technical as well. But it's a really solid movie, as I say. But yeah, no, that's gonna do it from us today. But yeah, to all you guys, are you guys gonna go see this one? And if you've seen it already, which you likely have not, because it comes out on Thursday for New Zealand and Friday for America. But if you do go see it, reach out to us, tell us what you thought, tell us if you agree with us, if you disagree with us, whatever, whatever you think, we want to hear it. So yeah, just jump over to our Instagram at MovieGainz, and we can have a discussion from there. And if you want more of our content, check out MovieGainz.com. We cover all sorts of things. We do 4K movie reviews, we do box office analysis, and we cover awards season. So yeah, jump over there if you want. Also, you can check out the rest of our podcast material. We're going to be reviewing films, on this podcast platform now. So, So, next week we got Scream 6, so it's going to be fun. And we obviously do Let's Be Real, and so we'll be doing our first one in a wee bit on Monday. So yeah, tune in for that one. And yeah, thanks again for joining us. We'll catch you next time. Have a great day, everyone. See ya.
See you later.